Hey everybody. Yeah, this is gonna have to be quick, like very quick, like very much quicker than I usually do things. So, blah, infinite regression is full of terrifying terrors and makes you feel sad inside because winter sucks. Anyway, it totally does. Oh, I need to get this up first. It's been up before. I've had like, oh God, put it up, Tingus. This, then that, then this, then take that, put it over there. That's how we do the magic that is this show. Look, I've had 3 failed versions of this that are all worthless for their own reasons, and I don't want to leave much more on the cutting room floor. So I'm just going to get to the point really quickly and then get out, hopefully, and go to bed. Because that's what needs to happen. Anyway, let's play the theme song. This is Islandcraft with Rem Pemberton of the Clemson Pembertons, sounding very desperate all of a sudden. Like the other ones, I was much more like, hey, buddy, I'm laid back and having a good time. Looba-dooba-doo. And right now I'm like, okay, let's get this done. Anyway, here we go. Theme song. Wait, frick. Nope. You gotta set your levels, dingus. Oh, always set your levels. Like, know that it needs to be up here for the theme song, which will probably start in the middle now. This has always been the theme song. This has always been the theme. This has always been the theme song. This has always been the theme. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you this, but I am suing that cha for sexual harassment. Or harassment, or however you pronounce it in the legal courts. Anyway, it's true. It was coming on to me with both hands. It was getting very grabby with its handages on my bandages. Anyway, hey, so here's what's happening. First of all, ta-da, dogs like beds. No, that's not true. I slept on this because this freaking dog, which I just like in an island over here, just around the corner and like slightly across the way from there, there's a little island where this guy was living alone. And I was like, oh, well, I have Bones. I will make him my friend. And so I did. I got Bones, and then I fed him 6 of those bones. And then he was like, let's be friends. And I was like, yeah, there you go. That's what's up. I don't want to do that with a dog in real life because my life is already good with cats. And there are already like some freaking few things that I don't enjoy as much with my life now that it has cats in it. Most things are better, but not all things. Not all things are better with cats. This is factually accurate. Gotta be honest and truthful, but like enough is better to where it's like, no. It was the right choice having cats. I just don't want to feel that way about a dog, because I don't want to touch warm, squishy poop with my hand inside a bag, but the bag too thin to insulate against the body temperature warmth of a hot, sticky dog turd that you have to pick up with what feels for all the world like your bare hand, and then you have to carry it with you until you can find a proper receptacle to put it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is ridiculous. Just like this rain in the middle of the freaking day is ridiculous. But I guess, like, it's not a thunderstorm, so, like, it shouldn't affect mob spawns. Anyway, and even if it did, I could just go back on the freaking island and this guy would eventually figure it out, probably. Either that or he'd stop long enough and then I'd go down below deck and do something else for a while until this guy could figure out how to get his butt out of a wet paper bag. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, in this very miniature type episode of myself, Rem, the Pemberton of the Clemson Pembertons, playing the Island type crafts, the Island type crafticles, the Island craftalooниes, a loony doonies. Yeah, like, I can scarcely believe that I have found myself a dogged friend who is almost on my freaking island. Is taking forever. Gosh darn it. Like, I'm never going to be able to bring this idiot with me from island to island because he can't figure out one wide. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to expend all of the energy that it takes to widen cobblestone by a full block all the way out to every single island. Like, that seems extraneous and unnecessary. Unless I find myself with a sweet ton of freaking cobblestone, you know? And I'm like, oh, cobblestone. Oh, it's so common. Who needs it anymore? You know, your priorities change when you're on an island. That much is true. Anyway, speaking of priorities changing, my priorities need to change a little bit because I need to get back to reviewing video games. I have some cool ideas, especially with the Steam Winter Sale coming up. There are going to be some things that we're going to do. Like, obviously, we're going to have another budget game explosion extravaganza. But, like, also, I've got to get up through Don't Starve Together in my regular Steam reviewing feed. You know, I got to get at least that far before the freaking before the Steam sale starts, you know, because I don't want to, like, all of a sudden be, you know, doing something else when, you know, the thing that I needed to do was get that far with my Steam games for a long time. I don't want to constantly be buying new ones when I still have old ones that are perfectly... Oh, jeez. Oh, he did it. He teleported onto my island. Alright. Okay, come over here, stupid. Sit. There you go. Now I will never feed you or care for you ever again. Because that's how it goes in Minecraft. Because you don't have to. It's weird. Like, all of a sudden he's your pet. And in Minecraft pet terms, it's like, never care for him again if you don't want to. Like, if you want to, I guess you could feed him and stuff. But, you know, an option in the game is not mandated by the game. And so therefore you can keep a pet forever without ever, like, undertaking some of the basic needs of pet kind. Anyway. Ugh. So yeah. It's true. I made it all the way there, and now I'm making it all the way back. Oh, and I still didn't get water. That was the whole reason I went. Stupid. God. Get all sidetracked and whatnot, finding dogs when all I needed was a bucket full of water. Anyway, so, yeah, I've gotten away from reviewing games, and that's a bullcrappity thing for me to do. If I'm gonna be, like, running a channel that, like, anybody gives it half a crap about, which, like, I never intended for anyone to give half a crap about it, but some people did for a minute, and, like, might again, I don't know. Like, I don't know what your life is like. But obviously, if it's a weird thing thinking that you owe it to anyone when, like, you really kind of don't. Like, you owe yourself things for yourself, for your own business. But wait, which part of the ceiling are you in? Are you in the part where you're going to swim down here and I get to hit you with a sword? No, that's a different one. Okay. Well, never mind then. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, I'm getting together right now some of the things. Like, here's something that I really struggle with is when it is a break, when it's when it's time off from the usual run-of-the-mill things. I always struggle because, like, some of the bench. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, regardless. I always struggle because I'll do this thing where it's like, I have to get this, and this done. And then, but like, also, I need a break when I have a break. Like, I need to not be working when I'm on my break. Like, like a person who needs to. Dude, it was so very pointless. Like, do you work on your breaks? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So, I don't mean like, do work around the house. I mean like actual work for work that you're not paid for. That kind. Do you have to do that when you're not on the clock? Because if so, like, oh boy, what is your job and what is your salary? And if it's like more than mine, I don't want to hear about it. Or maybe I do, and then maybe I want to be like, do you realize that this guy who's basically like nothing to nobody in a go nowhere field that doesn't even matter gets paid ridiculous sums of money? Meanwhile, while I do something that a lot of people agree is a freaking necessity and one of the most important things that a person could do, and when I'm engaged in that as my employment, people are like, yeah, but you shouldn't be paid very well for it. And certainly you should just be accepted that you're just going to do more work for not extra pay. You just do it because you're a freaking charity case, like Lewis Black said, like it's some sort of Mother Teresa cult. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Like, this is my vocation. This is my job, as well as the thing that I care about on a professional level. Anyway, regardless, let's not talk about that. That's not why I got on here. But, like, yeah, I was having a really rough time, a rough semester, a rough end to the semester. A lot of suboptimal situations and whatnot. So yeah, that is what it is, and I could go into greater detail on that, but like I don't want to. I'm trying to keep this a miniature episode, a mini-sode, if you will. Anyway, so I gotta go to bed soon. But let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, like, I do need to get myself lined out on things that I want to accomplish, before this break is done. Not things that I'll be disappointed if I don't accomplish, but things that it's like, hey, remember, like, yes, you're taking time right now to, like, watch Forged in Fire and modify your PS3. your second PS3, your other PS3, because you have two. For a while there, you had three. Because, one of them, one of them came from Goodwill. One of them came from the worst person we know. And then one of them came from a different Goodwill transaction that was much cheaper than the first time that we bought a PS3. And then that ended up being a Christmas present for someone who, it doesn't know if they're going to have a lot of Christmas this year because, of their life situations right now. You know what I'm saying? So, kids whose parents, according to the state, are not able to do a good job for them. You know what I'm saying? Kids in that kind of a situation. And they're worried about whether or not they're going to have a Christmas. And so I modded a PS3 for them. It was like, here, have this and a couple of controllers and a whole bunch of games and stuff. Yeah. So I did that for them. So yes, was it ridiculous that I had another PS3? Yes. Absolutely absurd. What the frick am I doing? But when I saw it there, I was like, can't just leave it. It's a PS3. Come on. Anyway, so I'm glad I didn't leave it. It wasn't that expensive, and it was a nice thing that somebody's really excited to get. So, good for them. Anyway, but I have my own that I'm pimping out big time, serious big time. And I could spend the entire break just pimping out my PS3. You know what I'm saying? Doing everything to it that you could possibly do to a PS3 to make it cool. But I don't need to be doing that right now necessarily. I can do that with regular weekends during a semester that is, that'll be ongoing before too long. I want to be thinking about okay, I have some special time right now, time off that I don't have obligations that that I need to feel bad about not accomplishing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you do, honestly. Ugh. Anyway, regardless. So, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of teacher talk, but not a lot of video game talk. I've been very happy, very pleased with some of my video game choices lately. So, yeah. I've played some, and I've had some fun with some of them off camera, of course, and some good things happening in my video game life. My real life, leaves much to be desired sometimes. Tell you what, find out your freaking boss doesn't give a crap about you and will sell you out as sure as you're sitting there being sold out by him. First chance he gets, it'd be this freaking guy, it's really, really ridiculous because, anyway, I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it. I keep going into it, and I need to not. But what I will tell you is this. It had a major negative impact on my ability to do some of the things that I enjoy doing for fun, like reviewing games. Like, honestly, weighing on me, the fact that he held it over my head for a month when we both knew he was going to do it, but we had to wait a month to figure out when, so frustrating. And like showed such a lack of compassion and regard for me as a just, realizing that I always thought I was a valued member of the faculty is like, oh no, they don't value faculty. Shoot, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. Nobody values faculty. Get the frick out. They just as soon replace you. They don't care. It's like, oh, that's how it do be. Okay. Because I was here laboring under this assumption that like I had any value to the institution, whereas it turns out I only have value to the students that actually like figure out what it is that I do and understand how deeply I care. Like that's who actually friggin' gets it, not the person who like fills out the official forms and continues to decide whether or not I get extended a contract or not, And that's another thing. Like, I don't think people realize that, like, teacher contracts are year to year. For reals. Like, and they could choose to not extend it for whatever reason. I mean, there are laws, but Arizona is a right to get screwed about work disputes state. Because right to work means no rights in terms of like freaking unions and stuff. And so like no real strong labor rights at all, except those that benefit the freaking the bourgeois class who are the exploiters of the labor. Hooray. Regardless, I could go on and really shouldn't. Really should not. But, ladies and gentlemen, like, life gets hard sometimes, and it makes you wonder what the crap you're doing. And then, like, you have to realize at a certain point that the future will hold what it holds. I might die alone in a ditch someday, with no material possessions whatsoever. Like, one medical bill, and that's exactly where my life is headed, because I live in America. One, like, really unexpected, massive medical bill, someone gets very, very life-threateningly sick for any length of time, which is not something you can foresee. And all of a sudden, like, my livelihood is very much in threat. And, like, the likelihood that I will someday die alone in a ditch increases dramatically. So, there you go. And I think it's sad that, like, for someone of my level of expertise, that there is, like, to a certain extent, like, I think about the Ayn Randian ideal. You know what I'm saying? Where she lays it out in Atlas Shrugged, where it's like Hank Rearden, the genius of all geniuses, with his Rearden medal, who is so smart that, like, he deserves the body of one Daphne Taggart only until she meets John Galt, and then he must cede to the alpha male. Like, it's a weird. Oh god, the whole thing is weird. Anyway. But yeah, the part that's like really poignant is that Henry Rearden has a brother who does not join the family business, and as a result, he does not do well in life. And it's like, yeah, well, of course he does not do well in life because you got to do the family business and make tons of money because that's the real freaking value in life. Don't do this like ridiculous artistic and philosophical stuff, which is funny because that's what Ayn Rand did. But like actually do things that make a difference. And the only thing that really makes a difference in Ayn Rand's world is industrialism, you know? And so like, because this brother, at a certain point in the book, like his lifestyle becomes untenable because of choices that, you know, Henry Reardon and the industrialists are making. Like, it's a direct result of their choices. It's not like, oh, you chose poorly and you wanted to be a burden on society rather than contribute in any meaningful way. Like, no, it wasn't that. It's that, like, he just didn't want to blindly follow in family traditions that, like, didn't appeal to him. And so for this, his brother is like, well, you can die begging in the street for all I care. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, because family ties don't matter. The only thing that matters is how willing you are to work for it, which, like, this weird right-wing fetishization of the concept of work, which, like, is some sort of perverse labor movement. Like, it's a labor movement that doesn't actually favor the laboring class. It's a labor movement that clearly favors the bourgeoisie, which is like, wait, what now? That's not how labor movements are supposed to work. Anyway, so yeah, like, this idea that it's good and upright and moral for Hank Reardon to say to his brother, like, I hope you die in the streets alone because that's what you've earned by not choosing to go into the family business of being a businessman and chasing that dollar sign, you know? And so you should die alone, tragically. You know, like that. That's what she's saying. That's the morality that she's putting out into the world. And then it gets lifted up as this great thing where, like, all of your friggin' Cleon Skousen-esque right-wingers are like, yeah, that's my real jam. That's my true book. Huh, ridiculous. Anyway, people, I gotta go. It is so close to, like, the worst time for me to be awake. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's so much better. That's so much better than an ad. I love this so much more than an ad. By the way, we're going to print screen it just to see if it says something at any given time. Yeah, we're going into Paint, people. Microsoft Paint. Oh, it doesn't. Like, random bits of, like, nonsense. Cool. It's like if I print screen it again, it's not going to improve. See? Not going to improve at all. Anyway, that's cool. I like this so much better than trying to sell something to me. Don't you ever forget it, Microsoft. Stop selling me on things. I will come to you for your operating systems when you have told me that I have no other option because you are ceasing to support the operating system that I have because it has failed to be impenetrable to freaking cyber attacks and whatnot. You know, like I am only picking up your new one when I absolutely have to. When like regular news, not like Linus Tech Tips, is like, you need to get the frick off of Windows 7 right now because it is all viruses from here on out. You know, yeah. Anyway, no, I still made it a half an hour. This is ridiculous. My life is a sham and a shame. A shambles and a shame. I call it a shambles. It's my patented term. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we get this the frig over. Pachow. And anyway, thanks for being here for a miniature one. And we will see you in actual real game reviews tomorrow. Okay, thanks, people. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.